And everybody doesn't like that. But you got to know who you are and step out of the comfort zone. So when I got to Nordstrom's, I said, hmm, I want to be the top person in this building. And I did that. And so I was featured in Women's World Daily, which is a fashion magazine. If you guys ever look it up, is one of the fashion magazines of the world. If anybody is ever in fashion, that's the magazine you want to be in. And I made it. And so when I talk to children, I always say, I'm that same little girl from the south side of Chicago that had a dream. Now it's up to you to decide. Do you want people to say, oh, yeah, he all right or she's okay? Or do you want to be that person? I want to come back to my community. And that's what I did. I came back to my community and I want to help the young people here. So I taught, which now is FIST, but it was Sexton. I taught there for 6 years. And then last year, of course, they switched it over to FIST. But in doing so, I was administrative. I was the dean of students there. I was the athletic director there. I put on fashion shows there. And I just wanted our children to see a different side of life. And I think that's what needs to be brought back to Woodlawn is that if you step out of here, you can be who you want to be. You don't have to be this neighborhood. And I think now you guys see the violence. When I walk through this neighborhood, I still remember the late Harold Washington, the mayor, the first black mayor of Chicago. He used to come right here in this neighborhood and get his hair cut and buy us ice cream. Those are the things that I remember.
Like how many championships have your basketball, your boys and girls basketball had?
This year, my fifth and sixth grade team, we actually made it. My first year coaching, we went undefeated, and that was amazing. Didn't win any championships, but that was an amazing feeling. And then last year, the boys, my fifth and sixth, went undefeated, and then we made it to the first round with 6 kids. I played with 6 boys the whole basketball season, and then they waited till we get to the first round, and then they decided that no one wanted to share the ball. And then when they lost, they was like, they looked at me. I said, listen, I coach. I don't play. I can only teach you the plays, but it's up to you to actually filtrate, out there. And so they realize now they like, Coach Bill, you're not gonna be here next year, and I said no, because I will not be returning back to FIST this year. And I let them know that the winner is in you. No matter who your coach is, the winner is in you. But every kid got my phone number. They all want to go to Simeon because they know I know the coaches over there, and by me coaching over there, and my son graduated, I'm very close with the principal. I told them I will help anybody, whatever high school they want to go to. I know mostly all the coaches in the city. I'll help them. So, and that's what God will use you for, to be a helper. And I realize that. And sometimes we got people out here, and I'm sure that you guys have entered schools where the administration or the teachers or the staff members have made you feel like, why am I here? They are the meanest people. And so whenever you see me, I always have a smile. And that's because when I was in school, somebody always had a smile for me. So I just hope to be that person, like some of the mentors that I had.
Do you think like do you think schools and churches should like get involved with the community?
Absolutely. I think by me going to Holy Angels, our church, is a huge part. Father Clemens made history because he was the first priest to ever adopt children. And he also was with Father Flager when they were shutting down paraphernalia being sold for drugs in liquor stores. So I've always been a part of a movement with church and school. So I think if we have the camaraderie to come back again, stronger than ever, I think it would be amazing. I think if they put God back in the schools, you will see a change. I believe, I'm sorry, I'm old school. I believe in corporal punishment. I think kids, they'll be all right. Sometimes you got to shake them up sometimes. And I think for me, when you do it with love, kids respect you more. but they know the difference between me shaking you up and somebody that don't like you shaking you up. Me, when Miss Bill comes, they like, here come Miss Bill, and you hit a hush, it goes through, and then everybody will straighten up. Somebody else can walk through and they be like, shh. So, and I know what that comes from. It comes from respect. I respect kids. I believe kids have a voice. You know, it's three sides to a story: your side, they side, and the truth. My goal is to get to the truth.
Do you think if Chicago like open up, like have like if the city all get together and we open up more programs like after schools, do you think that can like take some of the violence out the streets?
Absolutely. I pray. God has given me a vision this past Sunday at church to open up a fashion school for high schoolers
Yes.
because I feel that people only know one side of the fashion industry. They only see us standing behind a register. For me, I was blessed that I was able to embrace every part of the fashion industry. So I pray that God bless me with this school so I can help some of our young people because everybody doesn't want a traditional school. Everybody doesn't want to go to school and I'm sitting and I'm listening to this boring person and they're talking to me and I'm like, because that was me. My teachers would talk, and I'd be like, what? Womp, 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 womp. I thought Charlie Brown's school teacher was there. And so whenever I was in the classroom, I always wanted to bring life to my kids. I invented raps, like whatever song was out, I created something that was to my lesson. When I taught kindergarten, we sang, but my kids were writing. When they went to first grade, they could write. And I ain't talking about like one, two, three sentences. They could actually write paragraphs, novels. Um, so my goal is, can we make school fun instead of boring? My son showed me a tape of a teacher talking, and there was a boy behind him with a pencil sharpener going, like Jason. And I'm like, okay, so now you don't feel somebody standing behind you doing this. And the teacher never did recognize the kid behind him. And I'm going, see, now he couldn't be me because I'm from the hood. So the hood instinct of me is like, hold on, why you behind me? And the kids know that. And so for me, I think sometimes some people are not real. They forget where they come from. I haven't forgotten where I came from. And I love the fact that God has blessed me to grow up in this neighborhood, but I'm also blessed that my parents had allowed me the opportunity to come out of my community. The high school that I went to, I was bused. I used to have to catch the King Drive bus and take a school bus to 159th in South Holland. So can you imagine that you leave 60th in St. Lawrence and you get on a bus and you go out to the suburbs and it's not even nowadays the RTA, different buses run out there to South Holland, but when I was going to school it wasn't. And you didn't see black people walking around. You didn't even see nobody walking around because it wasn't like that. And so for me, I dealt with racism playing basketball for a predominantly white team and it's only myself and one other person, the only blacks. And when we would go into Caucasian schools, they would boo us. So you guys are looking at racism and you don't understand racism is still alive and well, but it's up to us to embrace who we want to be. Now that could have destroyed me, but it didn't. It made me stronger because it made me realize I need to fight so I can help our young people.
Do you think that we should come together and get the violence off? Like,
Absolutely. I think right now, I tell people all the time, I used to walk this neighborhood, and kids would say, that's Miss Bill. Oh, and if they had something to drink or they was smoking or, they was doing the blunts, now you're not supposed to do that. And they would respect me enough to stop. And if they was gang banging, they would be like, oh, there go Miss Bill, hold on, hold on. And so to me, I feel like if we had more people to come out into the community, not yell at kids and not degrade kids, I think kids would respect the situation better. I think that's what the biggest problem is. Because how do you guys feel when people approach you and they be like, you need to pull your pants up, y'all disrespecting us? And if someone comes at you aggressively, how your response is going to be aggressively. So, but if I come to you and I'm like, young lady, you know what? I have this. I love fashion. You like fashion, girl? You like my ring? You like my jewelry? And they say, yes. I really, I like that. I said, well, guess what? let's do this. Let's have a store. And that's what we did last year at Sexton. We had a school store where my students were able to purchase rings and jewelry that you see I have on right now. My students were able to do that, and it was based on their behavior. We had a behavior plan in place where they were rewarded with dollars. And they could go into a store. We had Nikes, the gym shoes you guys have on. We had those kind of gym shoes in the store for the kids. T-shirt, Nikes. Can you imagine you had a school store where it was like I brought Michigan Avenue to Langley, 60th and Langley. So can you imagine if your parents didn't buy you any gym shoes? You was like, look, if I save my Cougar bucks, I can go in the store and I can get those gym shoes, right? So what does that build for you? That builds self-esteem, one, but it also lets you know that, you know what, they care enough for me that this is what they want for me. And so I think if more people would embrace young people instead of degrading them, instead of, oh, your generation. No, it's not just about your generation, because my generation made your generation the way it is today. Because most people that's my age, and I'm 46, they say, I'm not going to be like my parents. Well, you know what? If it was good enough for my parents to do it for me, then it's going to be good enough for me to do it for my child. And I'm a single mom. I don't make excuses. I don't say, well, I'm a single mom and he a boy and boys gonna do what boys gonna do. No. This is my house and these are the rules and this is what you're gonna follow. And that's why today I can sit here proudly and say that my son graduated with honors, National Honor Society, Beta Club, scholarships, because I didn't allow him to run my house. And I want to help parents that feel